We need to have a serious conversation about your towns in the US. Today we're going to be discovering America's most unique towns. I'm really excited to see this one, guys. It's also just under 8 weeks until I go to the US. I'm going to Orlando. I cannot wait. So you make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell so that you can keep up with everything I'm going to be getting to do out there, all the stuff I had planned when I'm over there. I'm very excited. I'm going to be vlogging it. I'm going to be doing a lot of different videos. Now, without further ado, let's check this out.
Here in the United States, the cities on this list aren't your cookie cutter cities or towns. These places are special, weird, or quirky. Something makes these places stand out, like their history, their architecture, their theme, or even their location. Myself, I like a town that's got a little weirdness to it. Maybe that explains my fascination with Possum Trot, Kentucky. Who knows? What? But that's what we're looking at today. Got it? Get it? Good.
What the hell's
Let's take a look.
Possum Trot? Seaside, Florida. All right. I'm excited to see this,
Number 10, Seaside, Florida. Seaside, Florida is kind of special. Not the name. Every state that touches saltwater has a town called Seaside. I know California has one, Oregon has one, but this one's special. Pristine white buildings all lined up like they're in some sort of architectural military camp.
I ain't gonna lie, this already looks so beautiful, man. Is this it? Is this the town and this is like your little walkaway in between houses? I love it already.
Visitors
I love it already, man.
Pastel-colored bikes like some sort of weird Gap commercial from the 1990s. And cute little beachside boutiques. This whole town looks like the set of The Truman Show. Remember the Jim Carrey movie?
Hey.
I'm not even kidding. Looks just
what
like
a
it.
show.
And surprise, surprise, this was the filming location of the movie, The Truman Show. When you go to this town, you kind of go, this is what America should look like if all of America had beachfront property. It is literally the American dream, or at least looks like it. If you're there,
this is where it actually was filmed. Yo, that's cool.
Don't
That's
miss
awesome.
out on
I love
the
it.
all-white chapel church. Yeah, it looks like the top of a wedding cake. Not even kidding. They have a cool post office and rows upon rows of pastel-colored beach houses that look like.
Yo, by the way, you know what I would love right now? If anybody lives in any of these towns, let me know in the comments box down below. Or if you've even visited one of them, let me know. You know what I need to let you know? I need you to like the video so it goes out to more eyes, so more eyes see it. Would that be a thing you guys could do just real quick? It would take like 3 seconds. Thanks.
Plucked straight out of a candy shop. This is in the panhandle of Florida, and if you've ever seen, I should say most of their beaches there, it is white sand beaches, and it's usually pretty pleasant. If you're looking for it on a map, it is between Destin and Panama City. It's so cute.
America almost has like unlimited places
honestly.
to go, right?
For the most part, it still looks like the Truman Show. They don't have any homeless people. They hardly have any measurable crime. This is the type of place where white slacks after November 1st might be the biggest crime you've seen all year. If you want to live here, the
population's only 1,228, including cats and dogs.
average home value is $986,000, almost $1 million, and I think it'd be worth every penny.
Okay, it fucking better be. Jerome, Arizona.
Number 9, Jerome, Arizona. Jerome holds a special place in my heart because a lady one time corrected me when I called it Jerome, Arizona. We were talking about how it is considered the most vertical town in the United States, which it is. She told me it's actually called Geronimo, Arizona.
Well, that's just not... That can't be true if it's literally spelled like Jerome. Where's the... Geronimo. Jerome. One has 4 syllables, the other has none. That spelling of Jerome has 2. Surely not.
I said, no, I think it's Jerome. And she looks at her husband and goes, we were just there. It's called Geronimo. He leans over and goes, it's Jerome. That woman turned 9 shades of red in about 10 seconds. If you're planning a trip to Jerome, don't forget to wear comfortable shoes because this place is called the most vertical town in the United States for a reason. It is. How vertical is it? Let's just say it was built on the side of a cliff. And their sidewalks aren't as much sidewalks as they are stairs. Back in the day, this was an old copper mining town and it was dubbed the...
Man, that's wild looking. Like, that is so cool. That is so cool. So it used to be like a mining town. That's awesome. I was going to say it looks like somewhere where there would be a lot of mining. Nice.
Wickedest town in the West. Nowadays, Jerome's just a tourist hotspot with a quirky twist. Have you ever wanted to eat a hamburger and an old bordello? You could do that here.
This scares me, that part.
Visit a haunted hotel? You can. The Connor Hotel. Jerome is a gold mine of vintage shops, wine, and beer tasting rooms. If you want to get out of town and go do something exciting, feel a little adventurous, head over to Jerome State Historic Park. There you could tour the Douglas Mansion, which is a massive adobe house built in 1916 by a giant business businessman that was in the copper game. If you want to buy a home in Jerome, it's hot, so I mean very hot. Keep that in mind. But the average home value here is $509,000.
That's almost half. Gibsonton, Florida.
Number 8, Gibsonton, Florida. Ever wonder where circus performers go to retire, where they stay in the off season? Well, that is Gibsonton, Florida.
Do they?
Or Gibtown, as the locals call it. This town earned a reputation as the retirement community for carnival folk and circus folk, for that matter. That was back in the old days. I've watched a couple videos, and there's hardly anything left of it. You can still find little, murals and different things.
There's nothing left?
It's not like it was in its heyday. Now, if you go here, there still are some old carnival folk and people associated with that business.
Has he been serious? Oh, he's actually been serious. He's been dead ass serious. The clowns and shit go here to retire. All right.
But you're not going to go to the grocery store and meet a fire breather or lobster boy or the bearded lady. Matter of fact, where you're going to find most of them is going to be the local cemetery. Between 55 and 61 artists are buried here after a tragic Hammond Circus train wreck in 1918.
What?
Now, there's other ones that weren't associated with the train wreck, but I think that's kind of strange. The old history of the town, but it really wasn't what they were expecting. The circus has left town pretty much. Apparently, all the circus folks now live in Sarasota. The good news is this is a town that's coming back up. I mean, it's mostly trailer parks where all the circus and carnival folk used to live. I mean, they've been living in trailers their whole life. Why stop in retirement, right? But they're building new homes, and if you want to buy a home here, the average home value is $350,000.
Oh my God. I mean, that is quite dear for a town that doesn't really exist anymore, right? I don't want to buy a house for $350,000 if nobody lives in the town.
Number 7, Beaufort, North Carolina. All right, folks, let's talk about Beaufort. And it is Beaufort, not Beaufort.
Beaufort?
This coastal gem has more charm and personality than a sailor's first tattoo. Picture this. You've got comfortable little shops overflowing with fancy treasures.
Look at
restaurants
that
take the dock to dish seriously by serving the freshest local seafood. And historic homes that are as gorgeous as the sun sets over the water. You stroll along the docks and find a bunch of yachts parked there like they're in some kind of showroom. Live music always seems to be playing. And of course, like any seaside town, Main Street is a treasure trove of quirky t-shirt shops and ice cream parlors that make their own waffle cones. That type of thing.
Nice.
But that's not the cool part, and that's not what makes Beaufort weird.
Tell me what makes it
There's more
weird.
to Beaufort than meets the eye. Beneath its picture-perfect surface lies a swashbuckling history that's over 300 years old. Yep, Blackbeard himself, the legendary pirate, left his mark here when his ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, took an unplanned pit stop at the bottom of the sea just off coast.
What?
And guess what? The place is crawling with diveable shipwrecks, earning it the nickname A Wreck Diver's Dream. Yeah, this whole area was pretty big with the pirates back about 300 years ago. Blackbeard...
How wild is that? The 300 years ago, we had literal pirates going around the sea. Like, 300 years isn't that long, really, man. Right?
obviously being the most famous. They have pirate boat tours. There's rumors Blackbeard buried a bunch of gold here. 300 years later, and sound-penetrating radar, nobody's been able to find it, but they're still looking.
I wonder why.
If you're looking for a house here, it's not that expensive, and this is a nice little town. The average home in Beaufort goes for about $402,000. Not bad.
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Number 6, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. A place
Who
so
thought of that
packed with
name, man?
fun, it should come with a warning label, where their town motto should be, we still don't know how many go-kart tracks are too many go-kart tracks. Honestly, they've got like 10 go-kart tracks on one street. Different companies, different places.
Let me tell you something right now, mate. There is never enough go-kart tracks, right?
Isn't just
never
one
enough.
company that has a bunch of different tracks. It's like one guy was successful with a go-kart track on a piece of property, so another guy decided to copy him. And then like 10 other people did. Pigeon Forge is most famously known for Dollywood, which is Dolly Parton amusement park. But honestly, this town did.
What fucking size is this? Did he just say Dolly Parton amusement park as well?
Didn't just stop with Dollywood. They decided to turn the whole town into an amusement park. Mostly, I'm not kidding, it is go-karts, but they have like different rides and miniature golf, a Ferris wheel, and an outdoor gravity park. Yes, it's a thing. If you don't know what that is this hill where they put you in a big ball and push you down the hill basically, and you roll down for like a minute or two, get to the bottom, throw up, have a good time. This is one of the strangest towns I've ever seen, and I haven't been in a big ball.
I have a question, sir.
Push you down the hill, basically, and you roll down for like a minute or two, get to the bottom.
Why do these images look fake? Is this a painting or something? Or is it looks like either a painting or AI.
This is one of the strangest towns I've ever seen, and I haven't been there in 20-something years.
That looks like Google Earth or something.
It's just still getting weirder. More go-kart tracks. If you want to buy a home in Pigeon, Ford.
I mean, that's real because there's actually cars going around, so don't listen to me.
The average home value is $469,000. They got a lot of trailer parks there, though. You can get in cheap.
Louis Lenworth.
Number 5, Leavenworth, Washington. Welcome to Leavenworth,
not even
Washington
close.
State's very own slice of Bavaria. Here you can chow down on some hearty bratwurst and wash it down with a cold German beer. But that's not all they do
like
here.
German
You like
pie?
nutcrackers? And I'm not talking about the type you had in 3rd grade on the playground.
Oh my God,
I'm
this
talking
might
about
be my
those
favorite one yet.
Things that crack nuts, like walnuts. If that's your thing, Leavenworth has the Nutcracker Museum. Most of them from Germany, and most of them very old. So old, they probably saw the invention of the pretzel or maybe mustard gas. I mean, they're from Germany, so it could be either. Leavenworth is a really cool town. Been there a few times. They have a great Oktoberfest. As you can imagine, I mean, it's a Bavarian-style town. All the buildings, it looks like you're in part of Germany or maybe Austria. It's just a really cool little town.
Man, that
but
is
their Oktoberfest
gorgeous.
is pretty good. A lot of people go to it from the Pacific Northwest. A few years ago, during the pandemic, they'd shut it down for the pandemic, and then some of the locals didn't want it to come back. So it's like you have this whole town based around the whole German Bavarian theme, and you're going to shut down the most German Bavarian thing that they do. Oktoberfest. Who shuts that down? So they tried to get rid of it, but I think they almost had a frickin' rebellion. All those hotels, all those businesses that count on all those visitors. Now, what makes this one weird is it's in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and it looks like a German town. There's a few of these around the country. I just picked this one. I've always thought it was strange. I've been there a few times. But Leavenworth is a beautiful town. It's not...
I'm not going to lie. This looks absolutely gorgeous, bro. Can you imagine just walking down? Look how busy the streets are. Just walking down here, looking into each shops, each restaurants, each stores. People watching, getting something to eat over here. Get the snow over there. Speaking of snow, I stream over on Twitch. If you guys would like to come and follow me and join the community that we're building over there with a lot of you guys, I'd appreciate it a lot. If you don't, that's all right. If you do, even better.
Nice, it's small, it's up there in the mountains. They have a nice little Christmas setup, you know, during the holidays. It's really, really a neat place to be. It's just kind of weird. If you want to move here, the average home value is about $685,000.
Yeah, thought it was gonna be something like that. Salem.
Number 4, Salem,
Yes.
Massachusetts. Salem has one of the wildest chapters in American history,
Oh,
the Salem
shit.
Witch Trials. Colonial Massachusetts, February 1692 to May 1693.
Witch trials.
A time when your nosy neighbors could point a finger and suddenly you're accused of being a witch. Over 200 unlucky souls had Gladys Kravitz as a neighbor and got drug into this mess. 30 people were found guilty and 19, got the ultimate neck stretch, courtesy the hangman's rope. 14 women and 5 men for those keeping score. But wait, there's more. One guy, Giles Corey, decided he wasn't playing along. He wasn't into their game. He wasn't dancing for the man. He refused to enter a plea. Authorities, in their infinite wisdom, thought, hey, let's torture him. See if we get a confession then. Spoiler alert, he didn't make it. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, at least 5 more people kicked the bucket while cooling their heels in jail. So yeah, it was a real-life horror show.
Can you imagine how wild that used to be? People used to think there was witches in towns, and then if they were caught, they just used to hang them. Now, if you have more than 8 brain cells, you can pretty much figure out that witches aren't real, man. There's not witches flying around on broomsticks with the big green nose. No. All right? They don't exist, man. Come on. So, but they used to think they did, and if they thought you were one, like he said, your neck is getting stretched, and not in a good way. I don't think there is a good way of getting your neck stretched. You know what I mean?
Makes you kind of grateful that one of our biggest gripes about our neighbors, you think he's stealing your Wi-Fi signal. If you want to buy a house in this spooky little town, the average home value is $589,000.
I mean, that's all right. I can't afford it, but I mean, it sounds all right. Point Pleasant.
Number 3, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. For those of you that said that Salem witch trial stuff was kind of weak, what else you got for us, Briggs? I give you Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Lovers of paranormal activity. This little West Virginia town on the Ohio River has some quirky
The
personality.
world's only Mothman museum. I'm sorry, what? The what museum? Please don't. What is that? No. Wait, you trying to tell me there was a man running around this town that was also a moth? Okay.
There was a Mothman panic in Point Pleasant in 1966, based on sightings of a red-eyed, winged creature. Today, the town is home to the Mothman Museum, as well as the annual Mothman Festival. There was a movie some years back with Richard Gere about the Mothman. Anyway, the museum showcases memorabilia from the sightings and the 1964 Silver Bridge disaster. This bridge disaster and collapse and all the people who died in it supposedly had something to do with the Mothman's appearance. When they have the annual Mothman Festival, people from around the world come here and they're really into this. Like, you know, those guys that are into Bigfoot, people think they're going to come here and actually get a sighting of the Mothman. The good news about this...
I'm sorry, but listen up. If like... the government and this town came together and like hired somebody to be the Mothman and kind of like told him to go out at like, you know, like close to midnight and fucking jump in front of a restaurant's window if there's any open that late and then run away again. There you go. That town will generate millions, man.
Little town. The average home value here is only $144,000.
What? Why is it so cheap? The fuck?
Number 2, Whittier, Alaska. Have you ever heard of the Alaskan town where everyone lives under one roof? That's right. Almost all of Whittier, Alaska's 200 residents call the same building home. Instead of log cabins, tiny homes, and normal homes, they live in a 14-story tower called the Begich Tower. Some people call it Wilderness Tower. The thing is, this building was built for the Army back during the Cold War, and when the Army left, the railroads took over the land, and someone turned the Begich Tower into condos. If they want to live in Whittier, they're going to live in this tower, because since the railroad owns all the property, if you build a house, you know, it's not your property, it's their property. Other than coming by sea, there's only one way in and out.
Is this the entire town? Everyone lives there. Where are the stores? Please don't tell me this is all we got. And here. Surely fucking not, man.
Out of this town, and it's a tunnel. The tunnel closes at night. It opens at 5 a.m. and closes at 5:15 p.m. There's no road through the mountains. There's no road around the mountains. You either come by sea or you go through the tunnel. Everything is in this tower. The school, the church, the post office, the cozy corner grocery store, even a notary. Everything is just get in the elevator.
The claustrophobia would kill me, man. I couldn't. The claustrophobia is already taking over my brain.
Up or down, you're going to find what you need. It was voted a few years ago as the strangest town in Alaska. If you want to live here, you can. They've actually got 2 condos for sale right now.
No,
a 2-bedroom goes for $205,000 and a 1-bedroom goes for $175,000.
A 2-bedroom goes for $205,000 to live in this with everyone else. I could buy a literal house in the last town for $140,000. Suck my nipple.
Now, that's what's for sale right now. They have some bigger condos that go for more. And they say that the average home value here is $319,000. So that tells me they probably have some that come up for sale occasionally that are in the $350 range. All right, before we get to number 1, if you're thinking about moving to any one of these towns or anywhere else in the United States,
let me know.
We have a link for a website called Home and Money in the description area below. They can get you in touch with a real estate agent anywhere you need.
Tangier Island.
And number 1, Tangier Island, Virginia. Tangier Island, a place so low and flat, you might miss it if you blink your eyes while cruising the Chesapeake Bay. Yes, Tangier is in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. This tiny speck of land is home to a bunch of hardy watermen and women whose ancestors have been hanging out here since the...
I can't lie, man, it looks awesome. And if this is somebody's golf cart for getting around the town, I love it even more, man. Love it.
Colonial times. A lot of them are direct descendants from people that lived there before the American Revolution. The cool thing is, this island is packed with jaw-dropping tales. We're talking about Native Americans popping by to hunt and fish, and even some enslaved African Americans making a daring escape to find freedom on this very island. Tangier's got stories that will blow your mind. Right now, it's sinking. A lot of it has to do with erosion. It's basically a sand island, and time is catching up with it. At certain parts of the day, when the tide comes in, Main Street is about 3 inches deep in water. Most of the houses are now up on stilts. And if you moved there and wanted to purchase a home, maybe pass it on down to your kids or your grandkids, I don't think your grandkids are going to see it. This island is on borrowed time. They say they could build a seawall and save the island, but there's really only 500 people living on it. Last estimate was...
Okay, so what are those 500 people supposed to do? Hey, we're not saving your time because all 500 of you, you're not worth it. You're going down unless you move out.
Seawall would cost right around $30 million. But it is a very interesting town and island. If you wanted to live here, the average home value is about $220,000.
I mean, that's quite dear for a town that might not be there in the short future, right? I mean, that other town with 140,000 on the average price, that's not singing. Why is it nearly half the price as this town? Well, ladies and gents, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe before you leave. And just to remind you guys, I stream over on Twitch, and if you guys want me to react to anything, you know, you think I'd be interested in, put it in the comments box down below. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Peace.